So we got news recently that Katherine Zappoine, Francis Fitzgerald and Catherine Noone visited Kenya to attend a big conference about pushing abortion on the third world. Is it a surprise that they're spreading their desire for abortion around the globe?
It's hardly a surprise. I mean, that trio are evangelical about the idea of baby killing. It is horrifying because what we're seeing here is colonisation. Africa doesn't need abortion. Africa needs healthcare. Africa needs investment. Africa needs help. What it doesn't need are wealthy Western women prescribing abortion and the killing of black babies. This is racism. This is also that old canard of attributing African poverty to African birth rates, which is utterly untrue. Africa is poor for a lot of reasons, but Africa is making enormous progress outside of South Africa, which oddly follows all the prescriptions of the liberal left, the Noones, the Zappoines, and the Francis Fitzgeralds. Outside of South Africa, every country in Africa is making progress.
And is there a certain amount of arrogance in the idea of Western people going to Africa to lecture them?
It really is. I can imagine how those women that desperately need genuine healthcare, genuine reproductive care, to be offered this as a way, and I think as Paddy said, it's racism. It's just, you know, your babies are not worthy. We won't support you, but we'll support the killing of your unborn children. It's a horrible, and they sit there, and it's, as you said, so arrogant to sit there and proclaim that as health.
And it would be fine if it was just focusing on trying to reduce the maternal mortality rates, but this is something totally different that's latched into that goal. And it seems to be very devious in that sense, and obviously a lot of people in Kenya aren't too happy with them.
Certainly they are not. There's quite a reaction against it. They're not intent on reducing maternal mortality rates. If they were intent on reducing maternal mortality rates, there's all sorts of small, simple steps we could help fund and do. That's not what they're about here. This is about evangelical abortionistas going to Africa to push a baby-killing agenda. They have to do this because, of course, Africa has to have abortion, because if Africa does all right without it, what are we doing killing our babies? Abortion, by its very nature, it's like a fire. It creates a need to evangelise for it.
And then there's a huge
horrific
demographic cliff that the West is approaching and that Africa would approach if it took the same route.
Gosh, yes, imagine killing your babies, destroying the family and replacing fathers with social welfare checks has not worked. Gosh, who knew that we would destroy society?
So, in terms of any pushback against those politicians that attended it, there seemed to be zero except in some conservative circles, which says it all really about the media's ability to hold them to account, I think.
The media doesn't hold politicians to account in Ireland. The media supports them. We have an almost seamless union between the government, and by government I mean that national government, which includes Fianna Fáil and Sinn Féin, and the media, where journalists transfer across to big government jobs as spin doctors, seamlessly. Media in Ireland's job is not to hold government to account. It's to make sure that Conservatives don't talk to people.
And do you think, Vicky, there's a lot of support among Irish people for that idea of our politicians heading to the third world and pushing these ideas?
I don't think so. I think even the majority of the people that did vote for repeal, they had been just brainwashed almost into just believing that it was true healthcare. I mean, I canvassed massively on the streets. I spoke to people, and you know, so many people said that, you know, what about the poem, this, that, the other. But to see money like that being spent to send out these women like some sort of heroes to promote that for these women, when there's so much else that money could have done that would have been appreciated. I think it looks what it is. It looks vulgar, and I think people can see that no matter what way they would have voted here in Ireland. I think they can see what that is.
Vicky has made one marvellous point there, treating these people like heroes. And that's effectively what the media is now doing. It's treating the abortionist liberals as heroes. Just the other night, The Week in Politics on RTE had 6 women on congratulating themselves on a fictional campaign that they think they ran to install abortion in Ireland. They talked about the numbers of young women who went out to canvass. It's a fiction. The big canvass was on the anti-abortion side, on the pro-life side. Not only.
And they got it over the line because of the media's
They got it
overwhelming
over the line because
influence.
they had completely swallowed the media. The media is a bought-in, monotone organisation in Ireland.
Except for Gript.
Except for Gript, and that's
Except
why
for
we're here.
Gript.
Gript
And there's
is
a few others, in
Gript
fairness.
is doing a marvellous job, and that's why people need to stop paying their television licence